Harry's answers don't sync with the court questions after 5 bruising hours of cross-examination. The Duke's attorney's impotent. In the corner of a civil courtroom, sitting in a pale wooden witness box, Prince Harry initially seemed pleased to finally have his day in court. Yet after 5 bruising hours of being cross-examined by Andrew Green KC, acting for Mirror Group newspapers, one wonders if he felt quite so buoyant. With scrupulous politesse, the renowned barrister took the prince through his evidence step by ever so stealthy step. Time after time, it seemed to me the prince struggled to convincingly verify the facts of his case, and had an alarmingly faint grasp of the details. He was vague about when he'd first read the MGN newspaper article in question. He was vague about precisely why he believed the information printed had been gleaned by illegal methods. He was even vague about a hunting trip with his then girlfriend Chelsea Davy to South Africa in 2005. When repeatedly asked how he could prove articles had been hacked, he would say, "You'd have to ask the journalists themselves." All he had in his prickly armoury was a belief that the timing was suspicious. Trickier inquiries were met with, "That's a question for my legal team." It was astonishing. At various stages, he also couldn't recall what his lawyers had or had not shown him before the trial began, and he struggled to be precise. More than thousands, perhaps millions, he guessed, on the number of articles written about him. His witness statement was full of crazy hyperbole that any skilled lawyer or barrister would have advised against using. It's unfortunate that Harry didn't make the effort to ensure that his evidence was provable, not just how he feels, but actual evidence. After the questions posed by the lawyer, Harry gave incorrect answers. His answers don't sync with the questions because he's got heaps of memorised answers, which are almost definitely written by a team of expensive writers, with Meghan micromanaging, so he's trying to use those sizzly lines. It'll be interesting tomorrow after the lawyers have had time to comb through his witness statements. What else might come out where Harry contradicts himself, just as lawyer Andrew Green had promised earlier that he would tear Harry to shreds in court. If every story he offers in evidence has multiple legitimate sources of that information, he can't claim it was acquired by phone hacking. They can just say they learned it from, say, a press release and point. If he can give a specific instance of previously unpublished private information shared only through phone hacking, made publicly available on one of these gossip rags, then he might have a case. But each time they come up with a public source of information that can be found without violating his phone privacy, Harry has no evidence they broke into his phone. Harry's lawyer's team is helpless. His attorneys, including David Sherborne, had issues working with him. Harry himself selected the 33 articles, although he says he brought his attorneys 143 to start with. Although he says he brought his attorneys 143 to begin with, so they had to talk him out of using 110. Every time they would have quizzed him, he would have simply asserted he's right, they're wrong, and he's paying the bills and fees. Nor is he providing any actual proof of phone hacking, he's just saying that it happened because he believes it. Anyone living a high-profile life has to be discreet and selective about their behaviour. Evidently, Harry believes that by virtue of his title, he is exempt from exercising discretion, and as well as expecting everyone to ignore him. This court case looks to be his longest, most public and most expensive whinge to date.